So thank you very much for coming to this Wonder demo. What we're going to do today is I'm going to run you through the features for around 25 minutes, so that you can make the best social gathering imaginable. And then after, I'll open the floor to some questions. So I will then invite you, if you have any individual questions, to just write a message in the everyone chat. If I can just please ask you just to hold all questions until the end of the presentation, and then I'll open up the floor for our discussion. So what we're trying to do here at Wonder is we're trying to emulate real-world experiences. We're trying to think of creative solutions to bring in the real world, real-life experiences here into the digital world. We are living in some precarious times right now. Even before the situation that we're currently living in, there's been much research that has been published stating that we are living in an age of globalization, in an age of digitalization, where as a whole society, we're transitioning towards more of a hybrid model of interacting. So at Wonder, we're trying to now bring in some of these real worldly experiences into the digital world. We do this through two different perspectives, namely the perspective of a host and a perspective of a guest. So let's just start right now with the perspective of a host. What I'm in right now is called the broadcast mode. Now, a broadcast, think about in the real world, there's always some type of stage. There's always some type of area where the event organizer can then speak to all of the guests, can then speak to the audience. So you can view the broadcast mode as a virtual stage. So as you all see, your cameras and microphones have been muted, your circles have been paused, and you see me up here on the screen. So this is a great time for then you as a host to be able to speak to every single person in the room, to explain to them how the event is going to proceed, to give them some guidance and direction. Now, when you first open up a room, you're going to set a password. Now, this is going to be your host password. You can share your host password with as many people as you would like. Now, when I say share, I just say to tell the person what the password is. So let's say your host password is Wonder123. You can then just tell anyone that you would like to also be a host to either go into the broadcast icon to the right or into the settings and into the host settings, and then they can simply type in Wonder123 and then authenticate themselves as a host. Now, I'm telling you this because you can have up to 6 hosts broadcast at the same time. Just imagine 5 other people right here on this stage with me right now, and then all 38 of us will then be able to see our interaction. So this is really great for panel discussions. This is really great if you have multiple presenters. Then all of the guests, everyone in the audience, will then be able to hear the back and forth. Okay, great. Now we're going to switch into the perspective of the guest. If you first look at the bottom center of your screen, you see a camera and a microphone icon, so you can toggle them on and off, of course. The third icon is the share screen icon. So if I click this, I can either share my entire screen, an application window, or a tab in the browser that I'm in. And this is what it's going to look like. I am actually inside this room in another browser so that I can give you this presentation. And my avatar is the bottom right corner, and no one found me. I was hiding over here. Okay, so before I start, if you all look at the top left of the screen, the arrows over here, you can go between full screen view and also room view. So what I'm in right now is called the room view. We can see all of the avatars, we can see all the circles, and you see my video here at the top of the screen. Now, if I click this to go to full screen view, you will see my video at the top, and then you will see in full view my screen share. You can also do this when you are in a circle as well, to go to full screen to see everyone inside the circle. To see the room view, just click the top 2 arrows again. Great. Also, you can have up to one person share a screen at a time in broadcast mode and in the circles. Okay, great. So when you get a room link, you are going to take a screenshot, which will become your avatar. You're also then going to type in your name. If an icebreaker question is set, you're going to ask to respond to the icebreaker question. And just like this, voila, you are inside a Wonder room. So to move is really simple. All you have to do is click and hold, either on your mouse, with your mouse or your trackpad, And your avatar is going to follow wherever your pointer is on the screen. Now, when you get close to another person, so I see Issa right here. If I get close to her and then just simply let go, we see a circle now starting to form. We, of course, don't see our videos simply because I'm in the broadcast mode right now. To leave a circle, same exact thing. You click, hold, let go, and now that video chat has been closed. Now, if you want to enter a circle, all you have to do is click hold where the circle is and let go. And now I am in a circle with Charles, Edward, and Kay. So to move in Wonder is really simple. Now, I usually ask everyone to now join my circle, but I see right now a circle is currently full. There are currently 15 people in one of these circles here. And how do I know this? I know this because if I look at the icon right here in the center of this circle above me, this is notifying all of us. This is indicating that the circle is full. And now it's closed. Now it's open. Someone just left. And now someone just entered again. So this icon in the center is indicating that there are 15 people currently in the circle and that no one else can enter. If I try to enter, I will get simply just bounced away from the circle. Now, you can also lock circles to make them private. Now, we won't see the lock icon because I'm in broadcast mode right now, but if you look at the top right of the screen when I end the broadcast and when you're in a circle, you will see the top right a lock icon. Now, you can lock the circle, indicating that it is private. This is really great then if you want to talk about sensitive information, personal information. This will just tell everyone in the room that you all do not want to be disturbed. So this is how to move, this is how to create circles here in Wonder. Now we're going to go to the 4 icons at the right of the screen over here, the menu bar. So the first is the participants icon. Now, within the participants, there are 2 different views. There's near you and all. Now, just imagine that there are 500 people inside the room, so it's a quite large room. Near you will simply display all of the people, all the avatars that are close to where my avatar is located in the room. The all is going to show everyone in the room. So right now we will see all 40 of us in this all view. Now, to find someone, let's say that I was speaking to Christine in the beginning of the event. And then as the event unfolded, we lost touch and I wanted to find her again. So I can simply hover over her name inside the participants icon. And now what we see is this magnifying view of exactly where she is inside the room. She's at the bottom right of the room. So now for me to open up a circle, as I mentioned, I can simply click hold and then let go where she is to form a circle with her. But what I can also do is I can invite her to a circle. So let's say that the room is really large, there's a lot of people moving, clicking around, or let's say maybe I'm just a little tired. I worked out in the morning and I don't want to run all the way over to her. What I can also do is I can hover over her avatar inside the room. And now what we see is this pop-up window. We see her name. We see the response to her icebreaker question. I could also send her a private message, and I could also invite her to a circle. So Christine, I'm going to invite you to a circle right now. So what you're going to see is at the right of the screen by the chat icon, you will see a message that says, Andrew is inviting you to a circle. Now, if you don't see that, you can just toggle and go into the room view, and then you will be able to see that message. And when you accept the message, you will be transported, zoom, right to where I am inside the room. You can also do this with anyone if you're also inside of a circle. So if I join this circle right over here with Lena and with Daniel, I'm also going to invite you to a breakout circle. So I hover over your name, I press invite to circle. So Daniel, you'll also see the right of your screen, an invitation. Andrew's inviting you to a circle, and we just saw Daniel accept, and now we also just broke out into our own individual circle. So these are also ways of creating circles. As I mentioned, you can also, when hovering over someone's avatar, so here is Simon right here, I can send a private message just by clicking message. So now we are in the second icon. Now we are in the chat icon over here. So there are 3 different ways of talking here in Wonder. You can send a message to a circle. Let me just join this large circle over here. So I can send a message to everyone in the circle, and everyone in that circle, all 15 of us will then see that. I can send a private message like I did when I clicked on Daniel's name over here. I could also then send a message to everyone in the room. And that's going to be all 43 of us will now see my hello message. Now, let's say that a 44th person just entered the room right now. Or let's say that someone entered a circle, right, after a message has been written. They will not see the messages that have previously been written inside the everyone chat or inside the circle. This means that only when you either enter the room or enter a circle and then something has been written, that's only when you will then see those messages. So this is our chat feature right here. The third icon is the broadcast icon. So remember I said you can have as many hosts as you would like. You can just simply tell them the host password. If any of you were wondering, the host password is not Wonder123, but this will be the time to just go over here, type in Wonder123, and now I just authenticated myself as a host inside my new browser. You can have up to 6 hosts broadcast at the same time again. Just simply click Join Broadcast, and then you will see 2 of me here on the screen. But I think 1 of me is enough, so I won't enter broadcast in this other browser. Okay, now we're going to the settings, the gear icon right here. We want to keep our user interface very user-friendly, very easy to understand. So your information, you can change your name. You can retake a screenshot, your selfie, if you would like. You can also, if you don't want to use a screenshot, you can also upload a picture right over here, press update, and then that will be saved. If you have an external camera or microphone or want to use headphones, you can then change the input source right over here under video and audio controls. We always just ask you to just double check in your browser, in your settings, to also check your operating system's preferences, just to make sure that you're giving access to the browser and giving access to the Wonder Room. I also want to tell all of you that with all video messaging platforms, to never use 2 of us at the same time. And this is because if you're going to be in 2 different video messaging platforms, there's always going to be constant control fighting over access of the camera or the microphone. So if you do want to use 2 of us for an event, to completely leave that first room, that first video messaging platform, close the browser, close the tab so that it can reconfigure, then reopen the browser or tab, and then enter that new video messaging platform. Again, this is just to ensure that there won't be any then technical difficulties. Okay, great. Now we're going to go into host settings. So now we're going to switch back to the perspective of a host. And this is now where you can really customize your room. This is where you can make the room your own. And this is where some of my corny jokes come out. But a little bit of kitsch is all right, I like to say. Okay, the first way to customize your room as a host is with areas. So if we look at the coffee corner right here, the Q&A Andrew, and also the meeting, these 3 translucent squares are called areas. Now, areas help your guests to navigate the room. It gives some guidance, some structure to the room. Now, let's say you were putting on an event very broadly based called technology, and you want your guests to now speak about artificial intelligence, e-mobility, and fintech. Let's say that this meeting area right here was called fintech. Now, I see Katerina, and I also see Marian over here. Now, Katerina is in the area, Marian's not in the area, but since, they're close, you can then go over and then start a conversation with them, right? Open up a circle. Let's say that coffee corner. So we have this large circle over here of Michaela and Tom and a lot of other people. Let's say then that this coffee corner was called e-mobility. Then I can go over to the circle and I can join it. We also see Albrecht and Michael and Meta and Jana over here. So what these room areas, they help your guests not only to navigate the room, but they help your guests to ease into the conversation. So they help your guests to find like-minded people so that they can then talk about mutual interests, about shared values. So they really just help to ease into the conversation to help give your guests something great to talk about. So these are room areas. You can go into the host settings. You can title them whatever you want over here. Press save. You can also delete it by pressing X and pressing save. You can have up to 15 areas inside a room. We do recommend to just customize your room before the event starts, so to not create or delete any areas while the event's going on. This is just so that your guests will, won't get confused when the event is going on. So the second option here under host settings is room background. Now you can choose from our 43 different templates here. So we have anywhere from abstract to city. Here is New York morning. I like to use this because I'm from New York. To nature. And I like to end here in space. The future of technology is the launch into space. So to save one of our templates, simply double click on the image and that will save it. Or you can press it once and then press confirm underneath. If you want to upload your own custom background, you can click upload custom background. And then here is the Brandenburger Tor, the gate. We are based in Berlin. And if I were to press save background, this will be saved. I'm just going to keep our nice beach vibes because summer is right around the corner. Please be sure to pay attention to the optimal dimensions over here and the type of files that work best. Let's say that you want to actually create your own image, to have your company logo, to have some other, bells and whistles, customizations inside your image. You can absolutely do that. I just want you all to bear in mind that we do have different computer screen sizes. So depending on the size of the user's screen, the customized image might just look a little bit different. So just to also have that in mind. If you're going to have a larger event, we do recommend to have, a darker, a cooler type of background, not so many things going around in the background, just so then that the avatars can really, really pop. Okay, now we're going to guest password. Now a guest password serves to protect your room. Let's say you're about to have a social gathering and you share your room link with those that you want to enter. Let's say that it was shared with someone that it wasn't supposed to be shared with. Accidents happen, things happen. As long as you have a guest password set, that means that only those people with the room link, the URL, and also with the guest password will then be able to enter the room. But let's say though that it does get shared, or let's say that, someone was acting a little bit inappropriate, a little bit rowdy. Now, I see Harriet over here. Let's say that Harriet was just acting a little bit inappropriate, and me as a guest, I would like to remove her from the room. I can simply find her either in the participants view, or more simply, I can just hover over her avatar like I'm doing right now. I can now send her a private message right here. And now what I see is, next to her name, I see block user. So for me as a host, I will be able to then click block user. This means that Harriet will be removed from the room immediately. If you were testing and you blocked someone by mistake, you can simply go to our website and send us a message and we can unblock that user for you. And Harriet, don't worry, I'm not going to block you. You can see the rest of the demo and some of my corny jokes coming up just like right now. So the next option we have is the icebreaker question. So as its name implies, what does an icebreaker do? It breaks the ice. So this is just another way to help your guests to give them something to talk about. So you can choose from our questions from collaboration to casual to networking. You can also type in your own custom question right over here. As I mentioned, to see the response to the icebreaker question, simply hover over someone's avatar in the room, and then you will see the response to their icebreaker question. So we also recommend to set an icebreaker question, just to help your guests to, again, ease into the conversation. Okay, the last host option here we have is room name. The room name is displayed at the bottom left of the screen, right over here. I like to say, although this may seem the tiniest, this is the mightiest one of them all. It is the most profound option. And I say this because let's say that you put on this technology event that I previously mentioned, and then a day later, a week later, a month later, you want to put on another event inside a Wonder room. You can put it inside the same exact Wonder room. That's because once you open up a room, it does not time out, it does not expire. You do not need to open another one or request more minutes. No, once you open up a room, it is there perpetually, forever and ever, indefinitely, whatever other synonyms you can think of. So you can really use this Wonder room for so many different types of gatherings, events, and different cases. You can simply change the room name. You can change the areas, the background, the icebreaker question. If you want to change your photo, you can do that as well. Let's say you want to make sure that guests from your previous event don't enter your new event. Then you can simply change the guest password, and only those with the new guest password will then be able to enter the event. Let's say that after your event, you want to just, close your room, just have the room to yourself. Just then simply change the guest password and don't share it with anyone, and then no one else will then be able to enter. So yeah, you can really use a Wonder Room for everything. Let's say though, however, that you do want to open up a couple of rooms. Let's say that you're in education, for example, and you want to, you have a couple different semesters, a couple different seminars in a semester. You can also open up as many rooms as you would like. So I'm talking so much about opening rooms. How can we actually open up a room? It's really simple. Now, if I can just ask all of you just to follow along with me right now, so to not click what I'm about to show you, and this is because then you'll be removed from our demo room to open up your own room. So there are 3 different ways of opening up a room. The first is to go to wonder.me, our website. Now, if you look at the top right of the screen, also at the left, you will see Get a Room. You click this button, and in approximately 11 seconds, you will fill out some very basic information, very easy information, and then you will receive a room instantly. We will send you first a verification link just to verify you as the host that it's your room. Then we will also send you your room link, your URL. But we are also browser-based, right? So you can always just simply go into the URL bar, and this is going to be your room link. You can also look at the bottom left next to the room name, and there's an icon right next to it. If you click this icon, this will also just copy your link to your clipboard, and then you can save it in a secure location, also with any of your associated passwords. Okay. Let's now talk a little bit about the other 2 ways of opening up rooms. If you are inside a room, you can go to the settings icon here, and the first option says, hey, want to be a host? If you click Get Wonder, this will also bring you back to our sign up page. If you look at the bottom right, there's also an icon that says Get Wonder. This will also bring you to the sign up page. The last icon to the right, the Leave Room, this simply means to leave the room. This is just the same as closing the browser or closing the tab. To leave a circle, right? Like I said, to move in Wonder, you click, hold, and let go. So to leave a circle, you just do exactly the same. Okay, let's talk a little bit now about the room, a little bit more about the room. Can you imagine 1,500 people inside a room? And there is a reason why I'm saying this number. Wonder can host up to 1,500 people inside a room. Now, some of you may be wondering, asking yourself, that pun was not intended, by the way. Some of you may be thinking, asking yourselves, hey, Andrew, if there are so many people inside this room, isn't it going to appear so small? Or aren't I going to get lost and feel as if, the 4 computer screens, the sides are closing in on me? These are all great questions. So when you have a lot of people in the room will scale. The room will grow depending on how many of us there are inside of the room. The room will also scale. It will also grow depending on how many room areas there are. So if you are going to put on a larger event, we also recommend to just create a couple of areas so that when everyone is joining the room at the same time, they have some more space to move, to navigate the terrain, to run around, to click around, to move around. Yes, so if there are also so many people, you might be thinking, if we have avatars moving everywhere and forming circles, how will I be able to find myself? Aren't I going to get just lost in the crowd? And the answer is no, you won't. Because if you look at the plus and minus sign to the left of the screen, you can zoom out to see the entire room, to see everyone inside this room. You can also zoom in right here. And this will then go to exactly where your avatar is in the room. So you will never lose where you actually are. The last couple points that I just want to bring up. We are currently free. We will introduce pricing sometime at the end of the year. But there will always be a free, lighter version for you to use. The very last thing that I want to mention is I want to go back to the beginning of the presentation where I was speaking about the socio-psychological implications of what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to bring in relationships like in the real world, into the digital world. What we don't want to be, we do not want to be these static, stagnant screens that are just on your computer monitor. No, if we think about interactions, if we think about relationship building in the real world, right? What are the attributes that allow us to create these amazing relationships? It's our choice, and it's also movement, right? So I can see a circle, right, of Imwen and Benny, and I can choose to go over there and to create a relationship with them. Or I can see just a person, I can just see Ellen right over here alone. I can go over there and then create a conversation with Ellen. So what we're trying to do here at Wonder is we're trying to bring back your independence, your agency for online digital meetups. We're trying to break down these barriers in the digital world and build up bridges that can unite us all. Because at the end of the day, what is the social glue that binds us all together? It's relationship building, it's communion, it's going out there and creating the best experiences that you can with those around you.